Hello dear Titanic builders. Today I would like to show you unboxing and short assembly extraction for this new product, which is a starter of the new product line for Titanic External Lights. And this is both Mast LED set maximum configurations for car models and Pontos set. So as you see in this small box, actually a lot of stuff, and let's take a look what is inside. Yeah, so first instruction and some notes, very important, and I write it here, and I want to stress it again. Please avoid any direct sunlight or in principle any source of UV light to this resin part before you paint it, or at least prime them, because UV light could lead to some minor deformations of this resin parts. After you prime it and painted it, of course it's already not important. Another part, as soon as this kit contains also LEDs and this connection and safety modules, it has been, as you see here, it has been originally designed to work on voltage from 3 to 9 volts. So please do not apply voltage higher than 9 volts. Otherwise it could simply damage or completely burn this really sensitive small LEDs. Yeah, so I will also provide here just this two comparison of foremast and mainmast, and that's I also really I made really nice overview in my release post. You can find it in a link to this video on my Facebook group, and here is this comparison between KA and Pontos versions. What you later have here, so as you can see, that's one protection case for a mast from KA versions, and it's really strong. It's even by hands it's really difficult to break it, so that's why it would be really safe in this case. And you have here so both masts still in this support, so it's also extra protection. So, and this is, and you see here you also have like, oops, no, not focusing good. So here you have KA, so you can really discriminate, and also like only KA foremast has like two sections here. What is, I also will mention it, this 1 millimeter diameter brass rod is already pre-installed in this section. Okay, this is two foremast and mainmast parts for KA version. And this is the same for Pontos version. You have also, in this case, you have only, let's say, one section of each mast. Yeah, and that's the same here. So it's really nice pack. So, and shouldn't be damaged even if you have like falling down or some direct impact of this package. What you also have, so this is this mounting platform. So when you build your mast, you can put it here, so into these holes, and also later for painting and for assembly of everything. That's some small addition to the set. Okay, so you have like two this connection modules, which are also used for safety, and yeah, and for regulation of the brightness of these LEDs. You have this extension, power supply extension module, which allows you to connect multiple to one power source, multiple units. I will come to this also later. Okay, you have two packages. So this is docking clamp. So you have like port side and starboard side lamps. They're different, and in technically you see here you have like 4 of them. You would need only one, but I provide 4 that you will have possibility to play around, because it's really tiny, and you can first of all try. So for me, when I build them, it usually takes something like 20, sometimes 30 minutes to build this one lamp, I mean assembly together with LED. And the same also you have for this navigation lamp for foremast. You again have like 4 of them. Yeah, so again, technically you would need only one for the mast, but you will have this additional one to be able to play around. And you have like 4 this 0.2, 0.1 small LEDs. Again, you need only 3 of them, but I provide one extra because it's really tiny parts, and just you have one spare one. So this is the content once again. So contents of this set. So again, 2 masts, very well packed and protected. So 2 regulation models for each of the masts, one for fore and another for main mast. This building platform, extension, power extension, and navigation lamp and docking lamps for port side and starboard side, and this small nano LEDs. This is the content of this maximum possible configurations, and I would suggest, of course, this both foremast for KA version and for Pontos version. For those of you who has both KA and Pontos set, and in my Facebook post I really well overview what I think about and why I suggest like that, because for example for one mast it would be better to build it with KA parts, and for another mast it would be better to build it with the Pontos parts. And if you anyway have already both KA and Pontos parts, you could really have advantage of having this all 4 mast and then play around and see how you could get the best solution. Okay, now let's take a look on main assembly steps. So here I first will go for foremast, and so on this side is KA version. Actually it contains as you could see, from 4 parts. I don't know why they designed it so interesting, this top part being really the small piece, because also main mast of KA set also designed it from 3 parts. And this is Pontos foremast, and this from 3 parts. And in this on this drawing I also summarized what rigging rings available for each version. And as you could see, for example, foremast from Pontos is much better designed. It has these 4 rigging rings plus proper ring for antennas, but at the same time, if you compare, that Pontos mast has completely nothing for this nest entrance. So that's what I also fixed in my mast versions. And okay, so after you remove all support from the mast, what you have, so this is KA models version. This is main section, and that's actually what I mean. So because you can just simply insert it here into this support platform, and after this work on it, and at the same time, so this structure of this building support platform allows later to be very gently and carefully with the wires which will come from the bottom of the mast. Okay, so you will have, like as I said already, 2 parts of this KA mast, and so this rod, brass rod, already pre-installed in this small piece. And what you almost like you just need carefully insert it there, and just here you should leave a little bit out that you should play around, that you will be able to set this top part of the mast. I made this design so of course this brass rod to make very nice reinforcement of this part, and so of course you see it's really not very flexible, it's pretty stable. That will be final, let's say, section assembly of foremast for KA version. At the same time, as you already see, so Pontos version consists of 3 parts, and here again, so all rigging rings very nicely sitting on this original brass version. At the same time, for KA version, I used to, when I modeled my resin mast, I used to fix it, because when I tried to put, for example, this rigging rings of this on this brass mast from KA, they're easily going down, so they're not really sitting on the proper positions. That is completely fixed in my brass version, my resin version. And here again you have only one section. So here I created, so I created this, not so very nicely seen. Maybe let's make him a little bit more light. So I created this entrance to the nest, and here what you would need this the resin version and this top part of the Pontos mast, and here you should really carefully insert it. If it's not really going easily there, you can maybe drill a little bit and make it a little, but don't put too much straight, otherwise you will simply break the resin part. And as you see, so this is assembly, and it's also pretty, especially the top part is pretty stable from the brass, and that's how this assembled version of the foremast look like. Okay, now let's take a look on assembly of mainmast or rear mast. Again, on this side it's KA version, on this Pontos. In this case, both KA and Pontos versions, they're made from 3 parts. And after you remove all support from my resin parts, what you have here, like this KA version with these 2 holes for mounting of docking lights, and in both cases you would need to add this brass part into resin part. Again, do it really carefully, don't put straight. If it doesn't really go inside, maybe a little bit make this hole a little bit larger, because of course it could also a little bit vary, even this parts from maybe from kit to the kit, and there could be variation. So that's how does it look like KA version in assembled form, and exactly the same for Pontos version. Again, just be very carefully inserted there. If you put too much straight, you simply break it here. And this is assembled version, so here it's everything very easy. And again, here you have, for example, in case of Pontos versions, you don't have any mounting for the lamps. They, in principle, don't have them in the kit. And in KA version, of course, they have this resin printed lamps, but of course you couldn't really insert LEDs, especially LEDs provided in Magic Scale modeling kit. Another really big, I think, mistake which is made in KA set, they put this rigging ring above, so they put it like here in the kit, and actually according to this rigging scheme it should be below these docking lamps, and this is what I also fixed in my resin mast versions. Okay, so here we have like assembly of 2 versions of the main mast. Now I would like to talk about assembly of this navigation lamp or 2 docking lamp. That's, for example, how this is really huge magnification, how the docking lamp looks like. It really corresponds to the scale which size which should be on Titanic, not much larger. And this is, if we're looking on its orientations, here mast going on, so top, bottom. And if we remove these two leads and rotate it like this, vice versa, that's how does it look like. You have this channel inside where you should insert this LED, and channel between this mounting platform where you should insert the wires from LED. And actually these LEDs which I used, they're very tiny, because if you, I will try to show this if you want to focus on it. It's very small. It's 0.6 millimeters the maximum dimension of this LED, and this is the wires provided. So, and at least here what I also very like from this one I use, as you could see, positive one, it's this dark red one, which is top one, so you can discriminate very easily positive and negative wire of this LEDs. That's I really like from this LEDs. But idea, and that's why, so, and this is how this, how does it look like on this really 3D printed part. As you can see, it's also very small, and on each part you have this sign, yeah, so navi lamp's body, so you can really easily discriminate. For navigation lamp it doesn't matter, but for docking clamp it's has difference, because you have port side and starboard side, yeah. And actually also I already oriented this so this body so that it will be easier for you to assemble. At the same time, you see it's very small, so that's why I provide you 4 of them, that you have possibility to play around and, yeah, to find maybe your way to assemble it. I will now simply show you how I do this assembly, and this is actually, yeah, how does it look like on this 3D print part. The same, so this bottom hole in this channel looking up, yeah, and that's for example how I do assemble. I first insert this LED, so you should not, I do not remove this lamp from support, otherwise later it will be much more difficult to handle it and to work with this LEDs. So you insert this LEDs inside here, maybe even go through, and after this put these 2 wires inside this hole like here and remove it from this side, and after this carefully putting these LEDs up where it's located somewhere in the middle of this lamp. And then you put this bottom, and in this case it's vice versa, that will be here, it will be this lid, bottom lid, they are the same, and top lid. So this here I also provide, let's say, multiple of them, yeah, so you can, yeah, also see here they also signed, so you have 8 of them, so that you have possibility to play around. So maybe you first try to assemble one of these lamps just without LEDs, because these LEDs are also very fragile, so that's why I also provide you with 1 extra LED for this set. You can try and maybe assemble that for just without LED, see how does it work, how to get it on mast, and so on. Okay, and exactly the same I did for the same orientation, so that on this 3D printed part on support it looks like bottom with this channel looking up. So it's also going to be easier for you to assemble this docking clamps. Okay, here I just want to show you how this already assembled lamp looks like on a mast. This is the first version of my mast where it was completely resin, but nevertheless lamps are the same. So and here they are. You see they're really tiny. So with here it's already with both top and bottom lids, and it's really small. And wires going inside the mast to the bottom, and here they are coming out, these 2 wires. And later Okay, here it was some adapter, so for the latest version you don't. I want to talk a little bit about this LED connection safety and brightness adjustment model. So we have two of them, or one for each mast, one for foremast and one for mainmast. And in case of foremast you connect on only one, so LED to that. In case of mainmast you connect like two LEDs to this one. And I designed it so that here there is this screw fixer model, so you just only need to later insert, like you see here it's marked, positive wire from the LED to this hole, yeah, and negative to this hole, and just simply then screw it and fix it. So you don't need to do any soldering, while especially with this really tiny cable it's also not very easy. Here, this blue one, this is variable resistors which you can use later, let's say, rotate it and adjust the brightness of LED. So as I already said, so this model would protect it from overload, but still do not apply more than 9 volts to this model. If you need this model, as I have such orders, if you need this model for example, I don't know, 18 or 24 power supply, let me know, because I need to set different this variable resistor to be able to work on 24 volts. That's how does it look like again. And so this connection, so this DuPont pins, they're at the same time completely compatible with Magic Scale modeling kit, so you can use it and connect it to the substations where actually corresponding nano LEDs from Magic Scale modeling kit should be connected. At the same time, I also provide in my kit, so this, what I name this multiple power supply connector, and in this case you can like connect again here just to this module, yeah, with minus and let's say plus. You can connect it here, and yeah, and you can connect up to 5 devices, and this later, this connector, yeah, it goes to the corresponding power output in my kit. So it could be just after the remote on off switch, or directly after the battery pack and external power supply. But the most important, as I said, you can either connect this mast LEDs to the corresponding parts, corresponding positions on Magic Scale modeling kit, or you can use this completely independent from Magic Scale modeling kit, connect this to this power outlet, and also connect here power input from the circuit board from Magic Scale modeling kit. Yeah, that's how this another part work. And I will also make another video where I will discuss this different power supply connections and options for my Titanic hull support set MSM PRO version, and I will again mention this usage of this splitter, power splitter there. Okay, so you are welcome to try and to order this model, and if you have again any questions, as usual, there is a link to here to my Facebook group, and you can always send me PM or just ask any question directly in my group. You are welcome, and looking forward to hear your feedback. Thank you.